Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Rad. And as you might be seeing, I'm not home, uh, visiting currently. And just to say that if there is some disturbances into the live stream, they could occur. Although hopefully that is not going to be the case. So tonight, blue moon, which is a full moon in Aquarius, huge thing ahead of us. So the time frame is from 19th of August, which is for me is today. For you, my American friends, that's gonna be from tomorrow. And it happens at 2:26 p.m. and the moon becomes full in 27 degrees in 15 minutes in Aquarius. And the time frame that this reading is going to take place is literally from the 19th of August up until the 2nd of September, where the moon will become new in Virgo, 11 degrees and 4 minutes. And right away, from the cards themselves, we can see that this is going to be a huge thing, right? It's just going to be a big transit. And if you do want to examine the cards by yourself, by all means you can do so by observing the thumbnail of the live stream. I'm going to show the cards to you in any case, and they stand as follows. Now the first one that we do have, that is the Hangman. Okay, so the second card we have, that was the Devil card, and straight away that is extremely powerful elemental dignity, super big combo. And the last one, that is going to be the Page of Cups. All right, so these are the three cards. This is the elemental dignity we do have for the blue moon. All right, the full moon in Aquarius. So those three. And there isn't much to be said actually, because what those three cards represent, guys, it is that a change is nigh, and this change is gonna bring to us everything not that we have ever wanted, but everything that we have ever yearned, right? And the only thing we gotta do so that can happen is just kind of like wait and, if you will, have faith into the universe, so to speak. And this is the strong combo of the Hangman here, first card, and the Devil, which stands next to it, right? That does represent that anything that we do yearn for is just a matter of time to take place and to happen. These are the needs that thy soul has, your soul, my soul, anyone's soul has. This blue moon or full moon in Aquarius, it's kind of like delivers. And again, the only thing we got to do so that can happen is just wait. So with that said, there are going to be 12 readings as per usual. And bear in mind that these are going to be 12 readings for the star signs. So therefore, these are not going to be your personal readings. And if you do wish your personal situation, the personal plight that you're dealing with right now, to be a subject of my tarot interpretation, that could happen by you going to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you can see a full list of my services, their pricing as well, and based on your budget and also your needs, you can guys go for whichever one suits you best. Now, other than that, if you do enjoy the show, you can support us by engaging with the live stream, subscribing for the channel, liking the video. That is going to help us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you do wish to support us financially, you can do so using Super Chat or a PayPal link you're going to find in the description down below. Now, anyone who does do so, support the stream financially, you guys at the end of the stream are going to have a reading that is guaranteed. Just like Yasmin did. Okay, so Yasmin, thank you for the $20 US. Thank you. And Taco as well. Taco, thank you for the $77.77, mate. Mwah. Thank you, Taco. And as well, Nancy, thank you for the $20. Mwah. Thank you, Nancy. Let me put you guys into the stream. One thing though, Taco, I am not bringing with myself the Lenormand cards, mate. So I won't be able to draw you Lenormand cards tonight, which is kind of unfortunate. But you know, everything happens for a reason, and maybe I'm not supposed to draw you a Lenormand cards tonight. So Nancy and News Devon, thank you for the £5. Thank you, News Devon. Let me put you into the list. All right. That will be then, mate. That will be then. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, actually, Taco, no, it isn't Use Devon. I am visiting, so it isn't my usual room. I don't think it's gonna be fair, mate. If I draw you more, it's just I will not gonna have a fulcrum points. So what I am proposing you is, my God, that's gonna be a long wait. But you know what, mate? Do you know what I'm gonna do for you to compensate you for it? I am gonna do you Le Grand Tableau. When I get back at my place, I am gonna do you Le Grand Tableau, which is a big Lenormand spread. I'm gonna make you a video of it, and that Lenormand spread pretty much is gonna show the events that you are gonna be a part of in the near future, right? Is that okay with you? Just let me know. All right. So with that said, going for the first star sign. All right. So I'm gonna do you 3 readings tonight, and then as soon as I get back home, okay, which is gonna be Friday, but it's gonna be late evening Friday, so you can expect your reading Saturday, right? So as soon as I get back home, you're gonna have your reading. Oh, you're welcome, Taco. No worries at all. All right, so first star sign, like I said, that's going to be Aries. And the first card for Aries, 1 second. So the first card for Aries, that will be the 7 of Wands. Followed by the 8 of Wands. And the last one we have, that's going to be the 5 of Wands, right? So 2 ways, my friends. One is that a person you trust, so a person you trust is very likely to turn out to be a traitor, right? And you will find out about it. So by well, it is not a mere luck, right? Within these cards, it's not a mere luck, but it will look like a mere luck, and through that mere luck you're going to find about that traitor, a person that you have a place your trust into, and they just, I don't know how to even put it into words. Okay, it's just they don't, they betray the trust, so to speak. Okay, and this is going to be, though, at least according to these cards, this is going to be a blessing in disguise for you, because actually exposing that individual in one or another way will give you a set of opportunities, so to speak, or a set of circumstances that are going to open up a kind of new options available for you to move forward, whether into your career or whether into your relationship. So yeah, I mean, the circumstances under which that blue moon is going to open up for you are kind of meh. They suck straight away. But the result of these circumstances is going to be a huge and big deal for you. So what you can expect as a result of all that, it is to end up at the right place at the right time, and obviously as well with the right person who is going to end up being a traitor, and you're just going to take their place and take that whole loot. All right, you're going to take the all yields of whatever the enterprise and whatever the endeavor. So I don't know, I count that as a luck. All right, so that was Aries. Moving next, that will be Taurus. And I do apologize for the stuttering, guys. It's a bit hot here, and the computer is very old, and it just can't handle, not very hot, but it is marginally, and the computer just can't handle the heat yet. I mean, the air conditioner is working, but it takes a bit of time to kind of like cool up the room. So hopefully that's, the stutter is going to stop at some point. But I do apologize for that, because I can see here that it stutters. So Six of Swords, a Two of Cups, and Eight of Wands. And this is a bit of embers under your heel. There is going to be some kind of a sense of emergency. The blue moon is going to put things into a sense of emergency for you. And this sense of emergency is going to be at least taken up for you as a inconvenience, maybe, is the way, how should I describe it or display it. All right, inconvenience in a sense of that you are not going to feel ready to make the move, or you're not going to feel comfortable to make the move. You may not feel like you do have the necessary resources to make the move, or straight away you may be afraid to make the move. Imagine that situation. You like someone and you're trying to find the perfect circumstances under which to not to expose, but to divulge, right? To divulge your emotions, and suddenly you do find out that someone else is actually shooting for that woman or for that guy. And so that puts a sense of emergency, whether you feel yourself being ready or not. It doesn't matter, because if you don't act now, someone else is going to take the prize. And so this is going to force such circumstances are going to force your hand, okay, within the next couple of weeks. But actually, once you make that step, you will see that in reality, there was nothing for you to be afraid of, no matter the result, because this is just a temporary result. Because that move, actually, it is the very first step from you, or from your behalf, to reach a goal, right? It's not a goal. Six of Swords is like a dream, right? When you think about it, when you talk about it, but you don't do anything about it, because you are trying to find the right circumstances. And only thinking and talking about a dream, doesn't make it come true, right? Real actions are required, and that blue moon, that full moon in Aquarius, pushes you to make these, under a, again, sense of emergency, to make these actions that are gonna take you there. Is that a good thing, Taco? I am not into that much into leases and whatnot, mate. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. All right. Next, Gemini. Eight of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Okay, Taco. For Gemini, those three cards represent a cumulative or a mutual, maybe, progress, as is the best way how I can describe that. So what do we have is some kind of a plan, a preparation, or it could be also a vision for a cumulative future, right? Cumulative, like with you and your team at work, or with you and your family, you know, with you and your friends, or maybe with you and your spouse. And the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, when they are together, especially with the Eight of Pentacles as a primary card here, guys, that is when these the finest details, we call them the stones that can turn over the carrot, right? So these are the finest details, which could end up being quite of a formidable, I don't know, obstacle moving forward, are going to be talked about and cleared out. Maybe it is the best way how I can say it. So what you can expect, that the blue moon is going to force some serious conversations, which are going to be quite profound, okay? And through these profound conversations, you guys, you Geminis, can find the support from the other side, and also the word is not the know-how, maybe I would say the conscientiousness and the readiness to do what's necessary in order to make the things work. All right. So and that is further not supported but enhanced, augmented by the King of Pentacles, which represents the investment, meaning that the other side, whether it is your boss, whether it is your friends, okay, whether it is your family, is ready to invest whatever necessary. Of course, they cannot invest something they don't have, so you must be reasonable with whatever the demands. Hello, Karen. Hello, Amelia. All right, so that was Gemini. Next, that will be Cancer. Three of Swords. Three of Cups for Cancer. Three of Wands. So it will be kind of a shock for you for Cancer. What's going to happen here is a hypocrisy. Maybe that's the best way to be described, a hypocrisy, because what these cards represent is throughout that full moon in Aquarius, it's gonna happen that I would say it that way, whether it is an individual or it is an entity, all right, will end up not exactly sharing your beliefs, right? So what I mean is that, for example, you are planning to open up a business with someone you know, and they are sharing and they are giving an impression that they are sharing your belief with what kind of a business it should be created. And they hold some kind of a resources or some kind of a liquidity, a leverage that business to take place. And when the time comes, they tell you, you know, I do not agree exactly with that idea. So what happens here is that you will end up being I would say that way, a victim of the circumstances, having to choose whether to go forward alone or whether to cave in. And it's much more favorable if you go forward alone. So that is it's a rough choice, right? It is a rough choice. But should you decide to go forward alone, then whatever the expectations you do have, this is just an example again with the business. Whatever the expectations you do have for the business, they can become reality. And on top of that, you will accomplish far more than you think you can. So it's very important to just swallow up that initial shock, that initial betrayal, if you do want to call it that way, and try to do the best you can, because you can do much more than you think you can. Thank you, Amelia. All right, so that was Cancer. Next, Leo. Nine of Cups. The Lovers. The Star. I could try to do something about the stuttering, but that may ruin the stream. It may crash the stream. So, and again, I do apologize about the stuttering, guys. It's a sacrifice for Leo. Actually, it's not, well, it is a sacrifice because you will have to sacrifice time, but you will not gonna have to sacrifice results, okay? And the situation isn't going to be an emergency, but it will benefit you greatly if you take it as such. So what happens here is that something that makes you happy, whether that's a child of yours, okay, whether that's a person that you know, whether that's a how can I put it into words, whether that is a hobby of yours, will require your attention, not just only attention, but as well attendance, right? Attendance. It will require your attendance. And so what happens is that within this blue moon, you will have to put everything you're working on right now on hold in order to give your attendance and as well attention to that source of happiness, whether that is again your child, whether it's again a business you have, whether it's again a friend, and so on and so forth. And if you do so, if you give them your attention and tendency, they will stay with you to the very end of the earth. So what happens is that you will be able to transform a short-term emotional satisfaction and fulfillment into a not just only a long lasting one, but infinitely lasting one. So it will be important to nurture your emotions, Leo, rather than the numbers, rather than the results, so to speak. It's kind of like it is a sacrifice. And I'm not talking about that you will have to drop off from the race, but you will have to stop for a second. So you sacrifice time, you make a delay, but ultimately, whatever you dropped off at that point, okay, in order to nurture these sources of happiness, you will be able to get back into on a later stages, maybe right after the new moon in the full moon, I'm sorry, in Aquarius. Okay, so that was for Leo. Now moving next, we do have Virgo. Oops. Give me a second because yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Ten of Swords is for Virgo. The Six of Cups and Six of Pentacles. It is an ambitious move or a goal or a approach, I would say it that way. In other words, Virgo, within this blue moon, it does look like that whether you're gonna target or just, well, yeah, you just gonna aim for something that it is seemingly, and I'm saying seemingly, out of your league. Anyone else is gonna think that is out of your league, whether that's a position of work, okay, whether that's a place you want to go and live, right, whether that is a person you want to date, and so on and so forth. But it isn't. If you are determined, that is a very, very important. When things are happening and working under the influence of the Ten of Swords, one needs to be determined. You choose and you go for it no matter what, and you do not turn back nor for a second. That is the conditions if you want things to happen under the energy of the Ten of Swords. And the worse the situation you are working from, moving forward to the top or moving upwards to the top, the better. So for those of you, Virgo, who are finding themselves at the bottom of the barrel, okay, and at the rock bottom, so to speak, you will have the best results out there, okay? So the more you are down in the dumps, the higher the goal should be for you. Simply, that is what those cards are describing here. But it will be a pressure, all right? I don't want to lie to you. It will be a pressure. You will feel pressured to do that move, because in reality, the impression will be that you will gonna have nothing else to lose. That's gonna be the circumstances that you're gonna work under. All right, so that was Virgo. Next, I will be Libra. The moon, Queen of Wands, the High Priestess. I don't have what to say, because what those cards are speaking here is that your feelings and your emotions are gonna lead you, right? It's just wherever you feel pulled toward, or whomever, or I don't know, especially you who are with a I think that Pisces moonbeam can confirm that with a moon in Libra, right? Because moon does represent emotions, and someone told me a day-to-day routine, but I just can't vouch for that. But in any case, your emotions are going to lead you, and are going to lead you exactly at the place you belong. Okay, and imagine that situation. You are looking for work, and you have a few proposals, but for one of them you are feeling that pull that you have to be there. You follow that pull, and you will end up at the place exactly where you belong, right? And walk down the path of your career exactly that it is meant for you. And listen, guys, what is going to start, what this blue moon for you, Libra, is going to set in motion, especially if you do have moon there, you can't escape, right? Whether that's going to be now or 10 years from now, you will come back to the same thing emotionally. So it may not be with the same job, it may not be with the same person, but emotionally, eventually, you will experience the same thing. And at some point, you just got to give it a go, right? That's what those cards are speaking. So it's more of a guidance reading than anything else. But for you, Libra, you just have to follow your, I don't know, maybe heart, but I would rather say you must follow your emotions here. They know the path of your soul, and what direction your soul should move forward with. All right, so that was Libra. Next, Scorpio. All right, Karen. So you have dodged a bullet, eh? I make a good ripple. Two of Pentacles. Four of Swords. Oh my God, the Chariot. Hopefully so, Karen. Hopefully so. Well, the blue moon in Scorpio. Something is gonna make us. Change is a very strong word. Okay, that's why I'm trying to find the right word here. It's not a change. Maybe something is gonna make us see the world in a different way, but still it's not the same expression. I'm gonna try to explain it that way. Something is going to make us see the wrongness in some of our ways up until this point. What's going to happen in this blue moon, it is that one way or another, guys, we will see that there is another way. We will see that there is another path, or another approach, so to speak, that one thing can manifest, whether that is a certain result work, whether that is love, for example, okay, whether that is friendship. And what will happen from it is we're going to see that some of our concepts that we do have by that point, some of our, if you will, beliefs, perceptions, by this point are a bit outdated. They have been valid 10 years ago, right? But now they no longer match with our surroundings. And these are a small things, right? These are a small concepts. That it is not the view over the world. The view over the world is going to stay the same, but tiny pieces of that puzzle are going to change. And when they are changed, then the puzzle will fit perfectly. And we will feel very proud of that, because this change of a concepts and criterias and just a way, perceptions, that will allow us to accomplish a wish, something that we wish, whether we wish a love, whether we wish to make money. You know, these are a temporary wishes, not a grand wishes, but still is going to be wish, and the result of accomplishing that wish will be that we will end up being a very, very proud of ourselves. Now, one specific thing about a starting relationships, and under starting relationships, I mean relationships that you still don't know what you are for one another. The relationships that are starting under these cards are as follow. You have just met and you decided to go out, start dating, right? And these cards are saying that things are going to take off pretty quickly, okay? Things are going to take off pretty quickly, and the whole world is going to start spinning around you. I mean, and it's going to start changing as well. So brace yourself, okay? So you know. Next, we do have Sagittarius. All right, Death, first card, followed by the Chariot, and the last one, or the third one for Sagittarius, that will be the Queen of Swords. So these three cards, this is a severance, but in a very, very big magnitude. That is a severance from a very toxic aspect. And this includes addiction. Okay, this includes addiction, whether you may sever your addiction with alcohol or with drugs if you're taking, or with someone that is only making your life harder and harder by the day, or some kind of unhealthy habits, like for example working day and night and not being, let's say, adequately compensating for it. Okay, but this blue moon will allow you to break these routines, so to speak, through some kind of a circumstances, and from there you can pretty much start a new life. Fill those empty spaces which these dependencies had created for you with something that truly going to help for your life. And the reason why I do think that these are a toxic and noxious dependencies is because you will feel very proud when the process is completed, and actually you will realize that is something you really wish to happen. It's just you didn't realize it by that point. Subconsciously you wished it to happen, you just had that attachment that needed to be severed. All right, next, Capricorn. King of Cups, Queen of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. Well, there is a good interpretation, or rather like a pleasant interpretation and unpleasant interpretation of these cards. So I'm going to start with the unpleasant one, because I've been told that you should always end up with, when you make a pitch, you should always end up with a positive twist, right? So I'm going to start with the unpleasant one. And the unpleasant one is that you are going to get a proposition, whether it may be a marriage proposal, a job proposal, a relationship proposal, travel proposal, purchase proposal, whatever the case. There is going to be some kind of a proposition coming your way, which is going to be in the least convenient time. What I mean is that it will be almost impossible to take that proposal without suffering losses. And these losses are going to be acknowledgeable, right? These are not going to be just losses that you can brush under the rug if you do want to take on that proposal. Now, this is the unpleasant one. The pleasant one is that throughout the next couple of weeks, everything will go as easy as possible for you. Your job are going to be as easy as possible for you. Your relationships are going to be as easy as possible for you. The communications you do have, and literally everything that requires from you to act in a certain way that considers being quote unquote professional, that has an expectation toward it. So everything that goes that way, you will have no problem performing under it, because there will be nothing that can go wrong by a chance, right? And well, actually, I don't know, maybe faith, but now that I'm looking at the card, there is a third interpretation here. Your emotions are to be exposed. Okay, so for example, if you love someone secretly, it's not going to be secret anymore. Or if you wish someone's job secretly, it's not going to be secret anymore. All right. Next, Aquarius, King of the Hill. Five of Wands, Queen of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. So while these are all three minors, right? While these are all three minors, actually what happens is a very powerful out of your hand happening. So for every single one of you, the happening is going to be different. And that is how it goes by and under the influence of the Five of Wands. You just see super unpredictable circumstances that will allow you a total failure, right? Total failure to be transformed into a quite of a grandiose success. So just to give you an example, imagine your job fails and you are kicked off your job. Well, something is likely to happen that will reinstate you on a more favorable, say, conditions. Or let's say your relationship is failing, and again, the circumstances will rearrange, and it's not going to be failing anymore. In fact, now has a chance to go forward and thrive. So it's important for you, Aquarius, for the next couple of weeks, not to give up. All right, just don't give up to the very end, and be opportunists, because these turnarounds, they're going to be very sudden. With the snap of your fingers, from before you made the snap, things are going down sync, and after the snap, things are soaring. If you do take the snap opportunity though, and the snap circumstances. Now, how you're going to recognize that this moment is nigh? It is when things starts moving rapidly, right? They are kind of like going slow, and at some point they're just kind of like starts moving. Everything starts moving around. That's going to be the cue that or rather like the sign, the red flag, however way you want to call it, that the time for you to act is super nigh, right? Super nigh, and you need to be ready to jump into action. Okay, so that was Aquarius and Pisces. The end. Six of Swords, the Hierophant, Page of Wands. It's a shocking new experiences, right? Shocking new experiences, and under shocking, I mean experiences that you did not believe into. That is like, for example, an atheist to go into church and to go figure like it, okay? If these cards were mine, that would mean me jumping with bungee, which is something I totally don't believe on, and enjoying it, go figure. Or going skiing, again, something I totally don't believe on. I think that that is for the professionals, people that are making money out of it. It's a dangerous sport, and I don't think that I'm gonna like it. But say if these were my cards, going and trying it and actually liking it. So that full moon in Aquarius are gonna deliver anything new. I mean, many things, and all of them are going to be experiences that you haven't had by that point, and you kind of don't believe in it. But once you do make the taste, or kind of like experience the teaser, it's very likely that you're going to fall in love with this activity or with that person, and so on and so forth. And your life will become much more versatile, for lack of a better expression, colorful, and you're gonna have more things to do from there on moving forward. Now, these cards also may represent some kind of a new target, and these are going to be target that's, it wouldn't even cross your mind by that point, but through the circumstances, because it's something that brings a fresh breath of air in your life, you will consider taking it under your wing. Again, at the end of the day, the choice is entirely yours. But it is going to be very important for you, Pisces, to give yourself a chance and just try it out. Guys, that was for the 12th. And now I'm gonna go for the super chat, but before that, I am gonna have a cigarette. Okay, I'm gonna have a cigarette out of cam because these are a real cigarettes, and I just don't wanna encourage anyone. And for that reason, I'm just gonna go out of cam, right? For it. So for the super chat, I will be back in about 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. Yeah, thank you for being patient. Wait for me. All right, so that was Pisces. And now the super chat. The first one is Yasmin. So Yasmin, let me shuffle the cards for you and see what you got for that blue moon. Crossing fingers. 1 second. All right, Yasmin, those are cards here, those three. And this blue moon is gonna force an urge to do something different, and this is gonna be quite outside of the things you are moving forward right now, quite outside of your career and quite outside of your relationship. So this is gonna be about an enterprise that you thought being finished, okay? But throughout this blue moon, it's, how can I put it into words? uh don't, it's not even a feeling, it's more like, again, it's more like an urge that's you can reignite the flame, so to speak, right? You can re-experience it, you can imagine it that way. This enterprise gave the fruits of your labor, but this tree has new fruits there again, okay? And you going back to it, actually experiencing again a benefit for your previous labor. So expect throughout the next couple of weeks to have that pull toward a an activity or an enterprise that you had already had been a part of, and you thought that you will no longer gonna say need it, or that you're no longer gonna have to be there anymore because you took everything from it. But that was not the case. Well, it was the case at that point, but now that enterprise has a more to give, and in fact it's at least according to these cards is going to become one of the primary subjects, at least for the next few months, for you. Whether that's some kind of a side job, or whether that's some kind of a side project, I do believe that it is one of the two, right? But only time is going to tell. I mean, only the full moon in Aquarius for you is going to show it. However, that is something that you are natural into it. You really belong at that place, and you won't be able to again escape it. What I mean is that if you don't choose to take it on now, it will keep on coming back to you until you finally say yes. All right, next, tackle. So one reading for how the new moon is full moon in Aquarius is going to be for you, and two readings for what do you need to know, two things that you need to know, right? And like I said, mate, I am going to do you like on Tableau when I get back at Sofia. All right, so these are the cards for you here. The blue moon in Aquarius. It's a, yeah, oh my God, mate. All right, so if you consider that to be in the present, all right, but I don't see it that way. But by all means, okay. All right, Taco, it's a gold mine, and bear with me, mate. So that is an enterprise which you believed that it cannot be pushed through, right? You started it, you reached to a certain point, but at that point you thought that that is as far as you go. And this blue moon in Aquarius, it opens up the path, so you can go for more in there. Or in other words, there is a potential that it is heretofore unexplored, and the blue moon in Aquarius opens up that potential for you to tap into and completely develop it. And that will make some kind of a it's like, when I put it into words, it's like the mother's dream for her children, right? Whether that could be a fantasy or seeds growing, it's just a time that can tell whether it's going to happen. And for you, it is the same thing. But additionally to it as well, this is going to be a period of time, couple of weeks, where you are going to tie a loose ends. Okay, whether a loose ends in your job, whether a loose ends in your marriage, whether it loose ends within your family or with friends, and so on and so forth. So that was what the blue moon is gonna bring you. Now let's see what you need to know. The first thing that you need to know. Okay, those are the cards. It's a compensation, right? A compensation is coming your way, which is because you were denied of something recently. And you will be compensated with a gainful enterprise that will seem very good for you. I mean, when it is presented, you will face it with a lot of enthusiasm on your behalf. So that was the first thing you need to know, and now the second. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's influence. The second thing you need to know, those are cards. The second thing you need to know is that right now you do have a big influence. Big influence to whether attract support and rally people under your banner, right? Or an influence to dictate circumstances. Those cards are showing that you, what you need to know is that you do have influence to have things your way. And the best way how you can bend people to your will is by showing them that, how can I put it into words? That they can trust you, right? That's the best way how you can bend them to your will. They can trust you, and no matter what, they can always come to you for a help and for a moral support. All right, next. Nancy, let me check the list again. Nancy. So these are the cards, Nancy, for you. Those three. Let me put my camera preview so I'm sure that you do see the cards. These are cards for you. You're welcome, Taco. All right, Nancy. That blue moon is gonna make you face your fears, so to speak. And what I am talking about here is actions or speeches that you need to make, but you aren't making them because of a fear of the consequences of them. But this is going to be unavoidable anymore, and you will have to make those actions, for example, you know, or make those speeches. Just for example, you may be afraid asking for a raise, and the fear being that, you know, your boss may just kind of like release you. Or you may be afraid to say someone that you like them, or you may be afraid to, I don't know, to sell your house, and so on and so forth. So the actions that you are afraid of doing, of the fear of the consequences, you will fear from those consequences no longer, and you are going to make the necessary steps, and you will see that for the most part your fear was totally in vain. Totally in vain. And the only real consequence that you had been afraid of is that you are feeling a bit awkward and a bit out of place when you're doing these things. All right. And last but not least, that will be use the bone. You're welcome, Nancy. All right, News Devon, what is coming your way? I don't have Lenormand with me, like I already said, so I'm going to try to do it with a tarot. Those are cards here. One of the two things, News Devon, okay? Give me a minute. Actually, it's one thing. Actually, it's one thing. And it's not a pleasant one, unfortunately. You will face mental cruelty, right? And another version is like hearing out or finding out something that you don't like at all. That's why many people, by the way, are interpreting Three of Swords like an affair, because the Three of Swords purely represents an unpleasant truth, an unpleasant reality, and when you find out about the an affair, well, that's unpleasant truth, okay? But it could stand for many other things, and also it could stand for a mental cruelty, and it is one of the two because it was unjustly, can I put it into words? It was a unjustly performed, like in that song of Cher. I was singing, you know, I'm strong enough, you know. Well, that is what we do have here, is that your worth is far bigger than that. So what is coming your way? It is a unjust treatment, okay, that you do not deserve, and the best you can do for yourself is just leave that side alone, whether that entity or whether that person, okay? That could be a client for all we know. You may give everything you got to that client you have, and they still will not want to appreciate you, okay? They just still not going to appreciate you. So it will be best if you just stop trying to satisfy that client at all, because if that is the case, there will be no satisfaction of that individual or of this entity whatsoever. And it's going to be very, very important to remember your worth and to know that no matter what you are hearing, or, you know, yeah, no matter what you are hearing, it's not reflecting of, you know, your, again, your worth. Well, it could be from the family. Yeah, it could be from the family, unfortunately. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your generosity. And hopefully we're going to see each other around. Now, until then, bye.